Hello and welcome to this episode of Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog. As you probably know, this is our very first official episode of the Let's Play, and as such, I'm just gonna be letting this title screen go by in the background, I hope you don't mind. Well, the purpose of this Let's Play is to see all 300 plus endings. So, if you guys aren't super excited about seeing an entire story every day that this comes out, it's about once a week or once a month, I've not decided yet. This is still a new format for me, so please give me some time to figure it out. But, you know, it doesn't matter because I guess we're gonna just get started and see where we go. And of course, we're gonna have to start a new game. So, for those of you who don't know, Shadow the Hedgehog is a branching, non-linear, story-based game where your decisions either lead you on a good path, a neutral path, or a bad path. In every level there's the option for at least 2 of them, usually 3 of those options. Of course at the borders it's not 3, but those are the rare exceptions. There's 71 stages in all, and while this is sort of an outlier in it, you can just say that we'll be taking each episode as its own individual, piece. The day that I upload one, I'll upload the entire of a storyline, but every episode will be its own separate level. And just for those of you who aren't interested, or for those of you who are interested in knowing, this is my favorite Sonic game. Sometimes. This game is really good, but sometimes it's really wank. You'll see why here in a second, but first, I think we have to show you the opening cutscene. The story that this magnum opus of a game Sega created was supposed to be. Remember, this is only a year before Sonic 06, and well, I really like that game actually. I personally find it very enjoyable, but a lot of people don't, so this is another controversial Sonic game. You'll see why here in a second.
Shadow the Hedgehog. Why does that name haunt me? It's the only thing I can remember. And that gruesome image. Maria! Who am I? And why can't I remember anything? And who is this Maria? Look how pathetic they are. I don't have time for these humans.
Shadow. As you can see, the day of reckoning will soon be here. Find the 7 Chaos Emeralds and bring them to me as promised.
Huh? Who are you and how do you know I'm Shadow? And what are you talking about? Just what was that all about? If he says he knows the truth about who I am, then like it or not, I have to believe him. The only way I'm gonna get the secrets to my past is to get those Chaos Emeralds.
So, what do you guys think? At this point, the only things Shadow knows are his name, he needs to get the Chaos Emeralds, and Maria! Yeah, pretty weird way to start a story if you know. Especially considering that this game seems to be set at some point after the events of Sonic Adventure 2, which, by the way, sadly is my least favorite game with Shadow in the franchise. So, I can't guarantee this is a deathless run. And also, for the purpose of this Let's Play, we'll be doing it with, well, we'll first off be doing the dark missions, because, hey, they're way more easy to deal with. And you see, so, this game has a few key things. First off is jumping. You press the A button. It's pretty easy. If you press A again, you do a homing attack, which, when I get to an enemy, so you see this enemy there? Pow! Homing attack hits it. It's rather effective. Press B, shoot the gun in your hand. If you don't have a gun, you just punch and kick, or do another kind of kick. Y will drop your weapon, or switch it out later on. If you hold down the X button, you can speed up with a spin dash, or if you just press it, you can do a slide kick, which on occasion is helpful. C button does absolutely nothing, R button does nothing. Start button pauses the game. Lets you see your 3 missions, which for this level are find the Chaos Emerald.
Black creatures that we mean business.
Well, drive off the back. Black creatures.
There should be a Chaos Emerald somewhere in this city.
And
Soldiers.
yeah, kill gun, which is what we're doing.
Chaos Emerald somewhere in this city.
And for the sake of a evil line, in order to keep things interesting, because this game does get rather easy. I'm going to only use pistol for, well, any storyline. Just the basic human pistol because of how cool Shadow looks with it. But the other weapons that I'll be primarily using are whatever of the storyline that I'm doing. If I'm doing neutral, I get to use swords, trees, anything of that nature, since a lot of objects in the game are destructible and you can use them as weapons, like this sign, for instance. You can swap out your gun and pick up a sign and use it as a short-range melee weapon. It's not very good, but that is a thing that you can do. Of course, Black Doom for the bad guys. The Black Soldiers have weapons like this. This is their basic pistol. And much later on in the game, we'll meet Eggman, who I'm counting as the neutral-ish person. Now you might be seeing me kill off a lot of who should be my allies. I'm just using it to search out. Oh yeah, by the way, Y button also will use your chaos power, which you fill up your gauge. It's there at the top. Hero is blue, evil is red. Pretty simple stuff. When it's filled up, it lets you do some kind of a really strong move. Okay, so also there are keys that you can collect that unlock special things. However, you see, this game is full of open-ended exploration. Am I going to be exploring too much? Probably not. To be frankly honest, I'm terrified because oftentimes this game, as I said, it's sort of blank. It can be really fun, but at the same time it can also be really weird and not very responsive. So I'll often do a mix between exploration and just not if I know for sure that it won't lead me to anything or isn't cool. Like, for instance, down here, something that a lot of new players might not realize this game very rarely has instant death pits, which is cool in my opinion, because a lot of games will just have instant death pits everywhere. I can't slow down here, I have to go fast, because if I don't, right where I'm standing will be blown up. Oh well, I'll have to get that key the next time around. You'll play through these levels anywhere from 2 to 10 times throughout a playthrough, typically. So, I need those keys because they're helpful in the future. Right now, I don't care, though, because they're just keys, and keys are sort of pointless to get up without meaning. Also, I'll flip over things like those buses. You can stand next to them and press the X button and spam it, and it flips things. If you destroy stage objects, it tends to do things like that. Now that I have Chaos Blast, I'll show you. Chaos Blast destroys things in a perimeter. It's like in a given area of me, which is cool. I like this. Also, I always have to go back here because I've forgotten this area so many times, and I really don't want to have to come back here later on. So, I had a shield from hitting one of those bubbles earlier, which gives me protection from baddies. Or black arms soldiers, black people? No, that's racist. Here we go, here it is. There's also cars, which you can get in by the X button and press the A button to drive forward. There's also motorcycles somewhere in the stage. I'd much rather prefer the motorcycle, but until I find it, I guess I'm cool with just using this. And also, while you're in a car, you don't lose your stuff. Also, for whatever reason, whenever you drive over any weapon in a car, you just drop whatever weapon you're holding. It's annoying, but I guess it's not the worst implemented thing. If you can't tell, I'm close to filling up my hero meter, so at this point I'm going to try to avoid killing off my allies, because I don't want to get a hero's meter full. I mean, well, officially it does diddly squat to the story. I just prefer not it to. Oh yeah, by the way, X button does slow down you there. And, okay, I'm back up. You can also, whenever you see a hole that small, you can either spin dash or just slide through it, which is nice. I am a fan of this feature. Something that I'm less so a fan of is just how difficult this game can be at times. As I said, sir, this game is hard. When it chooses to be. It's not always hard, though, which is super helpful, because if this game was constantly hard, it would be really legendary. And by standing on these save points here, you can actually go back and forth throughout the levels, which is super helpful. And whatever, I gathered on up that, which is fine, because I still don't manage to get the fucking key. If you can't tell, I'm trying to get a key, which is, albeit it's an easy key to get. It's just super annoying, because you have to be pretty spot on with where you are when it spawns in, or else you're not going to get it. So I oftentimes just have to struggle to pull myself to that corner in time. Whew. Now, at this point, it doesn't matter what I waste my ammo on. I'll just kill them off with punches to show you just... The punches are sort of weak, but they're very good at breaking boxes. So, these guys have one hit with any other attack, but kick for whatever reason. Punches and kicks barely deal any damage. I'm probably going to get a terrible score for this. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes, but... So there was the first episode. I'm not going to skip past, but for those of you who are interested, D rating. I've got perfect A rating. Isn't very hard to get in this game. It's just annoying. And goodbye. Thank you for watching. Hello. Welcome. I'm gonna let you see this cutscene first.
The black aliens have hit 6 major cities around the world, and every city is reporting significant damage and casualties. Among them, Westopolis has received the heaviest casualties due to its weakened defense system. Downtown Westopolis has been almost completely destroyed. Unconfirmed sources have also reported seeing a black hedgehog in Westopolis.
Shadow? Deploy the troops now! And if you find Shadow with the black aliens, then kill them all.
But sir, isn't Shadow on our
I
side?
gave you an order, soldier. He's evil and he's the enemy. You can't fool me, Shadow. This time, you're mine.
So, hello and welcome to episode 2 of Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog.
Attention! Emergency broadcast to all mobile units. Headquarters to all mobile units. All points bulletin. Be on the lookout for Shadow, the black hedgehog. Wanted in connection with the terrorist attacks. Last seen in the vicinity of downtown Westopolis. Orders are, capture him. Dead or alive.
Out of my way. Coming through.
Stop! Don't move, or we'll shoot!
Stupid humans.
Very impressive, Shadow.
Who are you?
You don't remember anything, do you? But you will in time. But now, there's no time to waste here. Go and access the United Federation.
So, yes, we're doing the bad ending as I had mentioned beforehand in the previous episode, but I do want to say something. So this level is iconic for me because, well, this soundtrack is really cool because I had a copy of it with the disc that I bought that had all the music of the game, only the lyrical versions. This song was also included. And of course, for getting S ranks, I'm going to do a different run through later on. And by a different run through, I mean just, yeah, actually a literal different playthrough. It's not that super strange. However, right now, you'll see that I'm just killing off all of these baddies. Once again, they aren't technically baddies. We're the bad guy in this situation, but yeah, these gun century beetles are vaguely annoying.
You can release your true power when the gauges are full.
So, if you couldn't read what he was saying there, he was just explaining what the gauges do, which I already taught you a bit.
What a coincidence running into you.
So here is Rouge the Bat. We'll not be dealing with her today. However, we will deal with her in the future. As I said, keep tuned. It's gonna be fun for all of us. God, I hate it whenever my own allies target on me. But, whatever. And this shield does damage when you touch people. It's a pretty cool mechanic. However, do be warned, you can also hurt yourself with your idiocy.
When your body is transient, that red block is a firewall designed to ward off intruders. Watch out.
So I was unable to get the good pathway for the first time around. doesn't matter too much because whatever. I'm gonna be through here so many times anyways, and if for whatever reason I miss a key, either because I straight up miss it or I just don't know where it is, I'll be back through later on to get it. Especially on levels like this, there is a warp later on in this level that is very useful. Now to see me shoot down that, that's a shadow box. When you beat any of the endings, it will release out items that make sense for whatever ending it is. Like, for instance, right now, because we don't have anything yet, we instead have, well, a very powerful dark side gun, which is great for my case because I need dark side weapons anyways, but also is slightly annoying because, yeah, of course it is. So, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, Shadow the Hedgehog is a edgy, cool kind of game where back in the early 2000s, like back in the 2000s when this game was released, would have been the hottest stuff ever. Of course, this is all coming from a kid who played the game as a kid and absolutely loves everything about it. And honestly speaking, thinks that it is pretty great, regardless of any flaws with it. I know, it's a bit silly of an opinion to have of a game this old, but I really do think it is pretty darn great. So, you might have noticed already that in the digital world, bridges and things appear out of nowhere, which can be confusing. But also, this is why you want all the keys in this level. Right through there is a warp which leads you way far into the level, which is great. I think it's this. Actually, oh, yes, perfect. I'm not dead yet. I'm going to be killing off this one of those worm guys because if I don't, he'll be annoying later because he could push you off of these. If an enemy kills you, it's pretty much a reset if you're going for score. I mean, we're not going for score per se, but still doesn't mean I want my run being ruined by the lack thereof. And yes, the keys are very well hidden in most levels. While Westopolis made it seem as though they're pretty common, trust me when I say they aren't nearly common enough. The thing about those ones that you just saw are that those actually cycle through a preset, like, path of which items you can get out of them, which is a nice feature overall. I like it. The only problem being that oftentimes it does lead to you getting some shite items on occasion, typically rings or other things like that. So I just got the electric shield, which, as per all Sonic games in the past, causes rings to spontaneously come to you that would otherwise have no reason to. And also, if you've noticed, I haven't exactly fired much of my gun yet, but that's just because conserving ammo in this game, while not mandatory, is helpful on occasion. It's like, yeah. Much like in any game, you don't have to do anything. It's just very useful to do certain things. Part of that is avoiding damage. Much like in most other games as well. You don't want to get hit as much as you can be. And also, now you see why the security systems are sort of annoying. Like, not super horrible, but just annoying. Because they... Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to farm, by the way. And also, how you deal with this section is you just shoot that little thing out of the air, which... So, I haven't explained rockets yet. So cool thing about rocket technology is some of them will lock onto things. But at the same time it is sort of a problem because those rockets are horribly inaccurate oftentimes. Like, have you seen how much I've been able to dodge it? It is pretty sad, but hey, it's rocket technology, it's cool. I tend to not like it though, just because it is pretty bad. However, I mean, it is nice to have a weapon at all. So right there is the Chaos symbol. If I was going the good path, I would just stop right here and collect it, because, hey, there's the Chaos symbol, I'm done. However, because I'm going the bad way, I have to enter into that searchlight to enter into an upper level of the level. And jump into that warp hole, which you can't get back through. Which is a slight problem with this level. But, whatever. If you notice right here, I am using one of their guns, just faster and safer. It's not mandatory by any means, and also those computer programs are just so annoying. Like, you have no idea how annoying that is. Also, you have no idea how annoying those things are. Those things have been the death of so many good rounds. And if you couldn't see, that was the last key, which means that I'll have to come back here another time. Which isn't all that either exciting or unique to this level. It does happen quite a bit where you're just sort of stuck without the ability to do certain things. It is a bit of a problem with this game. And so, if you notice, I've been relatively conservative with my ammo, which is probably not the best thing for up here. Hence why right here, I am going to be collecting on a regular weapons. These SMGs, as I think they are, don't quote me on them, I'm not a gun expert at all. However, they're necessary in order to blow up the core program. I just simply didn't have enough ammo in my regular gun, is all.
Whatever happens
and so here is the end of the level. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. Join me back in episode 3. Now let's see. C ranking. You can always hope. Well, see you guys later and have fun.
Mr. President, we've received a report from the Central Information Agency. Our ground troops have successfully pushed back the black aliens from Westopolis. We've also managed to suppress enemy forces in 5 other cities. There's also reports that the CIA's mainframe has been compromised. We're investigating the incidents now. It is a strong possibility that this was also committed by the black aliens.
Tell the commanding generals that the United Federation will never surrender to terrorists.
Yes, Mr. President.
This planet was once saved from tyranny and annihilation by you 2 heroes. Now mankind must protect this peace at all costs. We must stand united to defend our world against these invaders.
And welcome to episode 3 of Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog.
Where am I?
So yeah, welcome to episode 3, where actually at Crypt Castle, which is I'm not a fan of this level. It's one of those levels that I've played so many times as a kid that and I really want to help Amy out because, admittedly enough, Amy and Cream are probably two of my favorite Sonic characters. Sadly, I don't get to actually play as either of them in this level. It's always been a disappointment that I can't just control over the buddies in this game. Now, you might notice me grinding back up here, so I'll just see if I can line up this. Nope. There's a way to launch from here all the way up there, but I'm not very good at it. And so here's Eggman's robots. As per the rule, I'm allowed to use swords of the enemy. It doesn't matter what kind of enemy. That is also true as well, Shadow. However, I have seen you at parties, and I must say, you probably shouldn't be grinding around children like you do. Shadow's rather good at grinding, but I would just suggest he not do it in front of children. So while grinding, you can press the X button in order to go fast. That's a thing that you can do. Also, up here is an entirely useful part of the level because there's this area, which, well, at first glance, is pretty much pointless. This is where you would have been bounced to if you would have taken the other path. It's pretty much absolutely useless, but it is nice to show it off. I do like to show off unique areas. Plus, also, if I was going on a neutral pathway, that's a great way to get a gun early on. And trust me, in this game, the faster you get a gun, the better. Sadly enough, there is no possibility that a gun robot appears. So meaning that if you're going hero story, you are stuck to only using torches. And also being that it's the Eggman one I have to do. So my 3 options here are...
Please, you've got to find Cream.
Well, saving Cream and cheese as well.
I've got to get out of this castle first.
Escaping with our lives, basically, or...
Light the fires on the giant lanterns.
And those giant lanterns...
Light the fires on the giant lanterns.
One of them is just up above. Hello, Dr. Eggman. Don't know why it showed us that little cutscene if you aren't going to talk. But it's actually just because I did a slight story skip. As I said, it's pretty slight, but I do like to light those with a little flash. It's a lot safer than the alternative. And also, I mean, while there are Black Doom soldiers here, I am going to be personally preferring this. The only reason why I do that is just because, once again, any enemy that can cause explosions can mess up a run so easily, and it's just annoying. I really don't want to have to deal with that. And also, so then I can show off all the areas. There we go. And here's the balloon to get onto the next giant lantern. See how fast this is? Yeah. Of course, this is Crypt Castle, though, so of course nothing is as easy as it should be. And here's where you really don't want your homing attacks, failing. And also I'll be destroying those and collecting their ammo because you can't use a sword on a bird. But you can use their guns, which is nice. Now you get on these things, they fly ya. Pretty simple, right?
And pull back to make it fly up. Holding down the A button will let you accelerate.
It's surprising how pseudo-control you get over this. Because while you can't control over your flight path too much, you can control it somewhat. And it's just strange. I don't know. It's one of those things where I chalk it up to being a feature. I wouldn't say if it's a good or a bad feature, but it's definitely a feature.
Those pulsating blobs are some kind of alien spawn. Make sure you don't overlook them.
And of course now I'm gonna grind on up this, because I want to get, if I remember correctly, there's a key hidden back up here. That or just ammo, which is nice too. Plus also this is also a sort of useful thing to have around with you. Those checkpoints, while they might not seem it yet, they are going to be hyper important. Over there is actually the key, I just remembered, but however, for the sake of this, all that you really need to know is though that, there we go. Yeah, it's sort of weird. You're already this far in the stage and you haven't even seen a single anything to indicate that you're supposed to do anything yet. Also, this green gas, super cool. It fills up your evil cage. Which, there we go, there's the first key. Which, by the way, if you can't tell via the key counter, we're not very far in the stage at all. While it might seem nice at first, trust me when I say it's a lot harder to get through certain sections of this game. And also, there's one of these, which is super important. Also, you can just fly off of the stage at any minute, so it is sort of important that you do this. Plus, here's this, which isn't very useful in this stage. Of course, I would still suggest if you want to try playing through this level, do collect it just because. And also, it's super hard with the torch to not blow off all the stuff on accident. And so I'm just gonna get rid of it and hit the wall normally. And he's hinting that you can blow up destructible looking walls. Also, I think Google just picked up on that. Weird. But, yeah. While that isn't super necessary, it is nice to have around with you. Also, by the way, those things are just so weird. They serve no function in the game. As far as I can tell, they're only there for a few creepy levels. But even then, their creepy factors are pretty limited. By that, I mean, like, extremely so. So, I don't even know what their purpose is in life. It's one of those mysteries that I've always sort of wondered, but the game never gave me a direct answer, so as far as I know, the game creators didn't know for sure what purpose those were either. Although here's just a little side area for rings. No functionality otherwise. I think at one point it was supposed to have something else there. Also, that wall is always fun to show off. There's a lot of destructible content in the stage that you probably didn't notice, like how you can go right through there and find a little shadow box, which is nice because it leads you to an overpowered as butts alien technology, which is super useful for a playthrough. So here's sort of where you can split. So there's a bunch of Chow here, which Chow aren't my goal, so whatever. But the thing is, there's 3 pathways. One leads you to the heroes section, which coolio. I think that's either hero or neutral. Over here is another section. I will be able to tell you in a second. So if you can't tell, you can't exactly do anything without these. And of course they're out of cycle. Oh yes, so here's the villain side, which for the purposes of this I'm avoiding right now, which is weird. It's supposed to go fast, it's a Sonic game. Well, I'll get to it, because I will be back in a bit. It's just that I want to do something else first a bit. I want to show off where the last bit of the level is. Actually, that was the neutral, by the way. This is the villain. We won't be going down the neutral pathway. I'll go through it a different time, but it's sort of annoying to try to go through multiple pathways on a single life. And so far, we've been doing a great job at not dying yet, and to be honest, in this game, it's impressive to not die for this long. I really don't want to break that. It's like, yeah. I know it may seem kind of weird, but I really don't want to mess up here. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Also, I have to be sort of careful here because I have to collect on up a key at some point. Can't remember exactly where it is. Oh, there it is, yeah. Whatever, I'll do it in another run. As I said, it's not super necessary in order to get this kind of stuff. Once again, Alexa's picking me up. It's sort of weird to see. But I guess it's not that odd. And also over here, save point, but also gets me a life, and then I can slice that. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm one step closer. Thank you for a great episode, guys, and I hope to see you guys back again. Let's see what time I got. E rank. It's because I'm going through slowly, guys. I'm sorry. Well, goodbye.
Another Chaos Emerald.
What are you doing here, Shadow?
Doctor, I don't want to fight with you, but I need those Chaos Emeralds. They hold the secret to my...
Enough of this nonsense! The Chaos Emeralds belong to me! All of them! No one gets in my way. Those who do will be destroyed. So stand clear or I will crush you! Just as I will those black creatures. Now, let me show you the power of my latest, greatest creation!
Sorry, guys. I was sort of letting that go by, and I sort of lost track of time. Also, so, this boss fight, officially titled as the one with Eggman. Also, I don't get where Amy came from. She's all of a sudden helping me out, and I thought we were not so much enemies, but I don't know why, but I was under the impression that I wasn't helping her in this last stage. I don't know. This game can be a bit weird with who it gives you when. As in here. Because there's no, except for exception of final bosses, there's no middle groundy characters, which is weird. Eggman is really the most middle ground you're gonna get, and even then, he's Dr. Eggman. I mean, his whole goal is just take over the city. And yeah, so that was the mini-boss. Thank you for this tiny episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a little episode. It's 3.5, if you will. A rank, nice. Perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed that little speed run, if you will. So, if you guys don't know the storyline of Shadow the Hedgehog, I don't blame you, but I had to pause here because it's super important that I do this. So,
the massive bomb before time is out.
That's what we're doing. We're setting off the big bomb. Of course, Knuckles, on the other hand, wants us to do something a bit different. I'll let him...
You need to find the smaller bombs before time runs out.
You need to find the smaller bombs.
Detonate the massive bomb before time. Shadow. We have set a bomb that will annihilate the city. Trigger it, and the city will be destroyed.
So, and by setting it off, he actually means you shoot the crap out of it until it blows up. Which is weird, because you'd think he wouldn't want you to blow up his own bombs, but whatever.
Shadow! Good timing. Black creatures have huge bombs that they're trying to set off here in the city. We only have a few minutes before the bombs detonate and destroy the city. You've gotta help us.
Crap. Sorry guys, that's a little glitch that can happen. I don't know exactly what causes it, but it basically just traps you in that animation for a while. It's vaguely annoying, if you can't tell. Also, you have to get good at wall jumping in this game. For whatever stupid reason, this game uses it all the time. And I absolutely hate wall jumping in this game. This level, you really don't have enough time to get the keys in it, which is, at least to me, a bit sad because I absolutely love the key collecting thing in this game. Also, that was really the only mini bomb I'm gonna blow up in this level, but it was for a good cause. Also, yeah, those human shields. are relatively effective. You can't tell. Also, for whatever stupid reason, Black Doom's sucker isn't stopping, which is super annoying. Also, I hope you guys do ignore the fact that I am just sort of shooting down these guys as fast as possible. This isn't a very good stage for commentary just because of its time limit. I mean, if you do lose it, whatever, it's not a very big deal to deal with, but...
Hurry, Shadow. There are two more. Do not let the bomb cores run dry. These are munitions that we have stored in different areas. Ordinary weapons are useless against them.
Okay, so that's just Black Doom. Alien. If you can't tell, I do tend to like pistols in this game. And there's good cause for it. Pistols in this game are overpowered as all hell. I shall soon learn. Also, for whatever reason, steering on the cars here can get a bit tricky. Now, I can't remember if it's up above this. I think it might be up here. Once again, don't quote me on this, guys. I haven't played this particular stage in quite a few hours. Like, oddly enough, I am shooting down all the Black Doom aliens as well, just because the thing hiding in that box, which is aka spring that we can't use because I accidentally shot down the thing. It's okay though, whatever. There we go. I'm sorry, Mr. Giant Imp Monster, but...
Move your body and hands while you descend.
Black Hedgehog sighted. Get him!
Destroy those insolent fools.
Once again, I'm not sure as to exactly where everything is. Ah, there he is. Or there it is, I should say, not he. But it is sort of useful to shoot on down everybody here, and then show off that Chaos Blast is actually stronger than the bombs. Yeah. Weird, am I right? Revenge. Now let's see what I get. A rank on the main level. Nice. So, thank you for our shorter episode. I hope you had fun. Goodbye.
So, you finally come to realize just how abominable these humans are. It's time to make all final preparations for our ritual. Hidden inside that space colony ark is the most powerful weapon, able to pierce stars. The Eclipse Cannon.
Piercing the stars.
That's right. The 7 Chaos Emeralds are needed to demonstrate its full power, or tomorrow's prosperity ritual will all be for nothing.
Prosperity ritual? Tomorrow?
Now, go. What fools. Humans created the Eclipse Cannon to protect themselves from terror. Instead, it will be used to destroy mankind.
So, yeah, that's the Eclipse Cannon. Welcome to Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog, Episode 5. And here today, we have the stage, The Ark. Which, there's so many levels based around the Ark in this game, it's ridiculous. I personally don't even like the Ark, but whatever. I'll be right back, guys. See you later. Okay, and we're back. Thank you for the slight delay. But this is Shadow the Hedgehog. Arguably one of the cooler of some. This is, as I said, episode... Hey, by the way, if you press the Y button on the pause screen, you can see it. This is episode 5 of our ongoing series. I'm gonna let that bird go off to its sadly untimely death. I know it's a bit morbid, but I do need to refuel. So, that was actually relatively helpful, if you can't tell. And also, these birds do treat the world like if it's a missile launcher, which is nice, because missile launchers are nice. Hello, Bun. So, my dog just came in. Nothing to fear here. Sorry, artificial chaos. That was super annoying, though. I know I don't need it at this point, but I did want to jump off of there for a second. So that's the first death of this run, which is fine. We're pretty far into the series at this point. Plus also, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of cheese, right? Plus also, if I don't get a high score this time around, as I said, I will go back through and get higher scores. It's pretty common for me at this point in any game to try to get as high a score as humanly possible, because that's just what I like to do. That isn't, like, specifically playing out, that's just what I want to do in life, is just be able to do it. Now, if you can't tell, this is definitely one of those levels where you really do sort of have to take your time and go sort of slower. Not necessarily by choice, even. It's just one of those things that, while officially you don't have to do, if you don't do it, it's just really hard to make up for it. Ooh, yay. There's a defense unit. If you can't tell, sir, these defense units are actually pretty pathetic. Like, I'm surprised that these things are the ones that are in charge of defending the most heavily defended base on Earth, because of the whole, you know, the power to destroy the entire solar system at will. Canonically speaking, it isn't the most powerful thing, but it is very close to it. And also, what with the whole... The canon is arguably outdated anyways. I mean, X isn't considered part of the canon, even though in other timelines it totally is, and it's just super vague of a timeline to begin with, and it's just super annoying to deal with it. So right there was the key door. You can't tell, I don't have any keys yet. I haven't exactly been through this level too often. It's definitely one of the least played levels for me, which is strange. Played through this game the first time around, I rarely stopped at the... It's like I very rarely even played this level in particular. I just think it's sort of an inferior level to many of the others that I had played at this point. And if you can't tell, it does sometimes berate you for being a traitor, even though you have no idea what you did to get the mark. It's not hard to tell on occasion as to exactly the enemy. So, yeah, I was blowing up defense turrets, if you can't tell. The good ending was just a neutral ending where you make it to the end. It was pretty boring. Hey, C isn't bad for this level, actually. It's pretty hard to get A ranking earlier on. I personally think it was pretty good. Pretty good to get a C ranking, actually. Well, that's it for this episode. See you next time.
Arc to headquarters! Arc to headquarters! Come in! Come in! Shadow's penetrated the Arc. He's headed toward the control room of the Eclipse Cannon.
Come in, Eclipse Cannon! He must be stopped at all costs! Take him out!
Falcon.
So, here's episode 5.5. Once again, the 0.5 line of levels are mini-bosses, if you can't tell, obviously enough. Plus also, Particle Beam Cannon, sort of the most OP thing in the universe, if you can't tell. And actually, I am legitimately able to strike a lot of these. However, now that I got to the top of him, it's pretty much pointless to strike at him. A hit there, while not ideal, isn't anything out of the ordinary, and you really do want to be at the top, so then he can attack you. By he can attack you, I mean you can attack him, specifically. If you can't tell, getting and keeping, like getting these rockets are pretty important for this mission. And sadly enough, it really is sort of luck a little bit as to whether or not he'll... I know that there's a way to deal with it, especially for your first one. You have a lot of luck-based maneuvering, and I don't know. There's just a lot of points where I do think this boss fight is fun and all, but it is sort of hard to do. but I still do consistently find it as one of my favorite boss fights in any Sonic the Hedgehog game. And so, that's the boss fight. I know, it's pretty underwhelming once you start. Once you get the first cannon, it's pretty underwhelming. But I think it's a pretty cool little boss fight regardless, and planet-piercing Eclipse Cannon isn't a bad job. B isn't bad either. Well, see you on the next episode.
We are the Black Arms. We are here to take rule of this planet. Any attempts to resist are futile and will result in death. You humans are so pathetic.
Damn you!
As of today, this planet is mine.
You're crazy. We will not.
So, hello and welcome to episode 6 of Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog. This is the final level of the True Dark story. And I'm jumping in my vehicle already. So the thing is about this stage in particular, Shadow doesn't know what he's talking about. Or at least I can't figure out what Shadow's talking about at this point. Because who the heck is Professor Gerald? Canonically speaking, we won't have met Gerald yet, and
Men, forgive me.
the only thing that Shadow really remembers about his past is that he shot at the Hedgehog and Maria. And that's not very much to go off of. Once again, I like to go in the cars. I think they're nice. I know that they're sort of slow and a bit bulky for what they need to be, but they're nice for what they do. And also, come on. It's a full-scale military vehicle. I think it's pretty rad that you're actually able to ride in one. Much less have a really fun level based around it. It's like, whereas I don't think this game is ever gonna win any awards for level design. I wouldn't even give it an award for level design. Level design is, well, levels, but besides that, I wouldn't be able to say much else. I mean, it's a fun game and all, don't get me wrong, it's just not very much info. Like, it's pretty surface, you get what you get. Once again, these vehicles are a bit unwieldy. I mean, at this point I would just suggest you go back through and just shoot down you drive in, try to tank through as many enemies as possible, but then for the real damage, you just go in, you pull out your big guns, and you know, especially if you can bulldoze through some of the small fry and get to where the bad guy is. There's always a big baddie in the level. It's never a point where it's just pointless cannon fodder, which is nice. This game is pretty good at avoiding meaningless fodder. And also, the main reason why I also like this is just because of how cool this section in particular is. Who doesn't like just driving through your in? Like, realistically speaking, it is pretty effective to blast through here with sonic speed as well. And let's be honest, when else are you going to be seeing a vehicle go on a speed booster? It's pretty cool. Plus also he can tank through things like that. So here's where you have to go on foot. And that's fine, you know, whatever. Oh, there he is. Pow. It's like, yeah. At this point, we're going pretty slow through the level. The whole purpose of this playthrough is just to have fun with it. It's not to go fast. If you can't tell yet. I'm not exactly the fastest player of the game.
Shadow. The black aliens have broken their way through.
So here's Rouge. She just wants us to get to the chaos. But of course, we've already chosen our pathway. You don't flake on something so important. You don't flake on something so decidedly important as that. Fair. go. There are 3 of them, that is correct. I don't know how you say 3. It's many, but whatever. Black Doom is a bit weird after all. Now here is one of my least favorite vehicles in the game. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a cool vehicle, I do love it, but it's just such a burden sometimes, because its jumping is just, to be frankly honest, rather uncomfortable. I mean, shooting works well with it. It's a very fun vehicle to drive, and to be honest, for what it sets out to do, it does it very well. I just don't think what it set out to do is all that great of begin with. And of course, there's a lot of points in this game where you'll hear characters say things that are at least a bit silly. Also, by the way, you might also realize most, if not all, vehicles are slower than Shadow's base running speed. I don't know exactly why they did it, but it's a thing, and I don't complain too much, I guess. It's just one of those things that you have to get over in your time playing Shadow the Hedgehog. It's just it's a feature of the game, and I don't blame it for it. It's like, whatever, dude, just get over it if you're that mad about it. Which, by the way, if you can't tell, this game isn't the easiest thing to break, surprisingly enough. It's a Sonic game. It's probably supposed to be easier to break, but a lot of speedrunning and stuff of this game revolves around a very specific glitch that I refuse to take part in, because I just find that not doing an entire stage is sort of unfair to the stage designers who put their heart and soul into this level. Or any level, for that matter of fact. But it's like one of those things where I get it, guys. Plus also, I do rather enjoy that they do limit where you can take your vehicles in this game. It's pretty cool of the mechanics that they're like, hey, we don't want your vehicles to be too... See, you can't go up those ropes. See what I mean by you can go way fast without it? Which has led to a lot of people saying, why would you want to ride in the vehicles? But I oftentimes just say that the vehicles are fun, guys. It's, you know, you can have a thing in a game be just for the sake of being fun. Something a lot of people oftentimes forget when they're dealing with a game like this, though, because it is a very long and arduous process to actually play through this game. Don't get me wrong, it's arguably one of the longest games that I've got that I play in such an obsessive amount. Like, really. Which actually, I do believe that I have to go through here. If I go up above, I skip over it, which is sort of sad. Of course, you'll oftentimes see things like, oh, there it is. See what I mean by that? It's just simple things like that. Also, by the way, these games are pretty rad. And also, so, you might have noticed that certain things don't quite add up. Especially in this game, there's a lot of points in this game where certain things just don't make much sense. It's partly due to design. They did sort of design this game in a cool way where not everything initially makes sense to the player. At least I think it's cool. They would try to make it so that the player isn't always super... Plus also, I know what's up here. It's just the exit of that area, which is a slow area to go through. It's the upper path, which, I mean, you'll go through here a lot. Also, for whatever reason, whenever Shadow changes directions, he'll slow down to a crawl on occasion. It's sort of random, I've noticed, actually, to whether or not he can turn. Given that under certain circumstances he'll turn 360 like a ballerina, and then other times he'll not turn at all. I really do think that there is a level of RNG in this game that I personally just don't get. Oh, that's bad. There was a key up there, which I'm so sad that I missed. But since I didn't miss it, I guess all I can say is just whatever. It's like, there's a lot of things in this game where it doesn't make sense. Also, much like a lot of this stuff in this game,
Hold your position. All right, just a little more.
regular machine gun fire does absolutely nothing, strangely enough. If you want to hit those guys, you sort of do have to save something better than a machine gun, which is fine, I guess. Plus, also, you could jump off back there at the top and you'd save a couple seconds, but to be honest, I just don't think it's all that much of a hassle. So this is just a grind rail. You've dealt with it several times before. At least that's the idea behind this section. It's just the thing that you dealt with at this point. Plus also, that doesn't really affect anything, since all that we did is just lose score, which is quite frankly shit anyway, so why would I care about losing score? It is sort of hard to actually tell exactly where to jump off to, which is a problem, I guess. Of course, you just jump right there, you'll always land it perfectly. It's not a hidden secret there. This game also does have a slight issue with homing attacks not working, so sometimes you'll see me not. That's just... well, as I sort of said, this game does have a slight tendency. While it isn't too prevalent, it is definitely more prevalent than I would like it to be. I have consistently found a strat where you can just hit it 2 times, jump off, and you'll almost always end up fine. I don't know if other people have that same experience. But also that area up here, if I'm remembering correctly, isn't a secret. It just legitimately is another section, which is sort of sad. I was hoping it was a secret. If you can't tell, it's not that hard to make it through here. However, this game does, as I say, like to troll you a bit. Alexa, shut off. Alarm. Well, once I kill off this last baddie, I'll have to say, adieu. And maybe I do as well. I mean, I do love this game after all. I really wouldn't. They did make a sequel of it. Well, there we go. There was the so-called final stage of the levels. Wow. So, yes, thank you for watching. This has been the Hedgehog, episode 6. deranking due to death, but whatever. That's cool. Thank you for watching. Hello and welcome to the last episode of Let's Play Shadow the Hedgehog. Well, this is our last episode for this run. This is episode number 7. The only reason why I'm saying this is a full episode, not just 0.6 or something, is because it takes a long time. There's credits, there's cutscenes, and the boss fight is ridiculous. So, in the spirit of things, let's go.
My search for the truth is about to come to an end.
Well, yeah. This is the final boss battle of Shadow the Hedgehog. Hero. Well, villain. Super villain story. So, how this phase works is you bait him into attacking you, and you just slap him up. Every time that you hit Sonic, it physically harms him. Every other phase is dick, though, because there is no easy way to get him to attack. This is why the rest of this boss battle is... This is actually why I'm doing it first off, rather than the other way around, where I could do it, you know, with the other stories and then this one. I'm actually doing it this way for a specific reason. Just because of the fact that it is so difficult later on. And if you can't tell, there's no real way to raise up your villain meter, because once that's all the way up, so his shields are really good. Trust me when I say that he is by far the most effective villain in the game. By not just a small margin either. He's actually semi-effective against you. And when you consider the fact that just that little bit of effectiveness is actually really good compared to how this boss battle normally works out, it's sort of sad, but also it does explain a lot of things. So, if you can't tell, yeah. This is really the only consistent way to kill him off. Just to get him to shoot at you and just... Once he's slapping at you, you can just shoot him up. There's no good way of dealing with him otherwise, because surprise, surprise, his attack is way better than yours. And also, now that I destroyed him, I don't have to do this for a little while, which, by the way, thanks guys, it's been really fun. So, there's our final battle. Now let's see what I get. I hope I don't have to come back through here. A rank, yes. No more playing this boss battle. This instance of this boss battle. Of course I'll have to for the other storyline endings, but I mean, I don't have to come back through here and just pick up what I'm lost, basically. So yeah. What this series is going to be now, I'll do a little bit of going back through collecting all the things that I lost and, you know, come back through. But, oh, here's a cutscene.
Shadow! What are you gonna do with them? I'm Shadow, the Hedgehog. I was created to bring order and justice to the humans. With the power of these emeralds, I'm going to destroy this damn planet. This is who I am.
No more gods.
If you can't tell, Shadow's a little bit more than just a little salty. And also, well, yeah, so as I was saying, I will continue on this game in about a month for this first time around, just because it is a slow game, and to be honest, it's one of those things where it's a passion project. I'm doing this out of the fun of my heart. This isn't even going on the main channel. Well, technically speaking, this is because it's part of the official playthrough, but the other storylines, once I finish off certain ones, aren't going onto the main channel. But, thank you for watching, everybody. I know that this may be surprising to some of you, but Shadow the Hedgehog is a very fun game, and I think if you guys are ever given the chance, try to play through it for a bit. You really might be surprised by how much you like it. It's not a game that you can pick up and play, however. It's one that you sort of have to just sit down, decide this is what I'm doing, and play for a while. And of course, saying that, I do have to say, thank you all so much for watching. There's no way that I could do this without you guys. Also, Alexa, set an alarm for 8 o'clock.
It's at 8 o'clock in the
PM. PM.
third alarm set for 8 p.m.
So sorry about that, guys. I just had to do a thing really quick. You guys can hear this cutscene too. It's a pretty beautiful, impressive-looking game, if you can't tell. And for those of you who can't follow along with the storyline, there ain't no way you're gonna catch up if you can't figure out the storyline at this point. But actually, I digress. So guys, I would also like to say, please leave a comment down below if you guys want, telling me, I want to have a question of the day for each of these super clusters. But can I ask, so, what game is your favorite game in the Sonic series? And if you guys do say one, ask me. I have a lot of the Sonic franchise. I can play most everything on a legitimate copy. However, most of my games that I'm going to be playing aren't the traditional variants of them, if you can't tell by the fact that I'm playing the Shadow the Hedgehog. But I have, actually, just to put a little fun notice on there. I bought something called the Sega PC Mega Pack, which is really cool, but what's cooler about it still is it comes with Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Flickies, which I count as a Sonic game, Sonic and Knuckles collection, so Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic CD, and Sonic R, all together on a big compilation of discs. It's really nice. Oh, and so remember those shadow boxes you kept on seeing earlier? This is what it's good for. Unlocking things like the Samurai Blade. Of course, my next playthrough, just for convenience purposes only, is going to be... Let me show you guys over here. Sorry, it takes a while. So, for the purposes of convenience only, my next playthrough will be going to... Oh, did it not count that? No, yeah, it did, okay. I guess I didn't 100% it or whatever, I don't know. It will be the hero story, the pure hero, because I want the item you get for beating it, which is a healing gun, which is super useful. Like, you will thank me if I get it early on, because it just helps out so much with future runs, because there are many times where you'll see a human character lying there on the ground like, "Help me!" Of course, I don't actually remember exactly what they say, but you can shoot them with a healing gun, and it restores their health, and if you do it, it also gives you a lot of hero points, and for pacifist runs and stuff like that, it's necessary in order to get that. Of course, this isn't a pacifist run, so to say, but I still do personally think it's a very good run if you haven't seen it before, and while there is problems with it, it's a fun run, though, either way. And I really do hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is H Phantom 6, signing out.